everyone. Welcome in. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm gonna give it a few minutes for people to join, but we're so excited to have you on our live demo today. Today I'm joined by Leo, who is an account manager on one of my teammates, and we are going to be talking through some new features in the builder. So we're doing a tour of our editor and showcasing some new features and walking you through how to use them, where they live. One of the features is technically not as new, but it's something that is just as important, and we haven't done a live demo over it before, so we wanted to add it to this call as well. That way you have some information around that as well. I'm gonna give about another minute to start before we jump in, just to let people join. And just so everybody knows, you can use the Q&A section to ask questions. That is open for all attendees. So if we're talking through something and you have questions, please feel free to submit them in the Q&A box. And we will get to them at the end of this call and answer them live for you as well. So yeah, please utilize that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So the first feature we're going to talk about today is called multiple answers per page. So it sounds pretty self-explanatory, right? You can add multiple questions to the same page in a quiz now, instead of having each question have its own individual page. So how to do that, we're gonna just go into a quiz here in my dev store. We're gonna use the email opt-in page for this first example. One of the biggest requests that we got before we had this feature was that customers wanted to add the email and SMS to the same page. They wanted to be able to collect those on the same page and not have to go through two different pages. So this is a good example to use this feature by adding your email and your SMS to the same page. So when you're inside your quiz builder, you'll see the question here and you'll see an option where it says add question. So typically you would add a new page when you wanted to add a new question, but now you can add a new question inside of this already existing page. So if you click here to add question, you'll see we have all of the forms of questions that can be asked, and you can add any of these to an already existing page / question. So we're just going to use this opportunity to add the SMS opt-in to the same page. So instead of this being just an email opt-in page, now we can collect email and phone number on the same page. So we can reduce those drop-off rates by having them be two separate pages and combining them into one. Same thing goes for any of your other questions. Sometimes at the end of quizzes, for example, this is a style finder quiz. It's asking what type of apparel you're looking for, but you might want to still gather some information from the client, like how old they are, what their gender is, just some demographics to understand who your customers are. And sometimes those questions can be slightly annoying for customers to answer, so adding those to the same page is also a great way to reduce drop-off and make sure people are still getting to the end of your quiz. So again, you go here to the add question, and you can add any type of question to the same page. Multiple choice, picture choice, collect text, birthday, date picker if you want to ask that, and then again the email opt-in and SMS opt-in. So if we click here, a multiple choice question will pop up, and it's the same sort of editor that you would get if you were just adding this to its own page. You can change the question, you can add multiple answers, you can change them to be different settings, so they can be stacked. If you want this one to be radio buttons, the pages don't have to have the same sort of settings. You can do pictures and you can do radio buttons all in the same page, so you can mix it up. So that is how that feature works and how you would add it to your quiz. One other example I did want to show is a lot of times people come to Octane because they want to build a product finder quiz. They want to recommend products at the end. They want to increase AOV, things like that. But we do get a lot of people that want to also create surveys and just questionnaires for their customers. And so now with this feature, we can do that quite easily. instead of having, again, a single page for each question, you can use this new feature and have the questions all live on one page. So this is something I put together previously, but you can see that this can be something that maybe you're sending to new customers that sign up for your newsletter and you want to email this out, or post-purchase, whatever survey you want to send to your customers, you can use this feature for that purpose. So as you can see here, if I were to preview this or take the quiz, all of the questions live on one page. I just have to go through and answer how I've heard about this brand before, where I typically buy, if there's anything I want this company to have, I can type it in right there. There's a mix of questions here and then continue. And that's it. It gets submitted. This is technically your results page, the thank you page. So you don't always have to show a product on a quiz or information on the results page. You can have a survey as well and use the results page as your thank you for completing our survey page. And you still have all of that data that we capture like we do in product quizzes. You can connect this to your Klaviyo account and segment customers based off of how they're answering, or if they're shopping online, if they've never purchased from you before, so on and so forth. So this tool is a really great example of how you can use Octane AI for different use cases outside of your product finder quizzes, and you can start using surveys and sending those surveys to your customers. So that is multiple questions per page. So I'm going to pass it over to Leo, who is going to talk about our newest feature, as well as another good tool to use to analyze your data.
All right. Hey guys. All right. So starting with the newest feature that we just launched, which is the progress bar for the quiz. Most of you who were with Octane before know that back in the day, if you wanted to do a progress bar, you'd have to have them as individual HTML elements or maybe as images. Nowadays, it's much simpler to set this up. You just have the built-in feature. So over here, I can click on design, then go to progress bar, enable the progress bar, and that's it. I don't need to add it question by question. I don't need to do custom HTML or anything. It's that simple. There are a few options that you can customize here. So you can customize the design to be, for example, pills or dots, or just a gradient. For example, I can change the copy. So say, for example, I have a quiz that's in another language that's not English, and I need to change this. I can do that here, or maybe I can also do question 3 of the thing, for example. For the fonts, I can just inherit those from a website, or I can pick from a few choices over here. I can also customize how it's placed, the copy, and the text color. The bar colors, obviously, so it matches the quiz, and the position of the progress bar. So I can select between top of content or bottom of content, or if it's sticky, to the top of the screen. And one other thing is you can also select whether or not you want to display this step counter here, or if you want to show instead a percentage counter or just nothing. This is especially useful for quizzes with branching logic, because say, for example, you have a quiz with different logic paths. Sometimes it's difficult to know how many questions the customer will actually answer before they go into one of those paths. So maybe what you want to do is just disable the step count and maybe only show them the percentage or the visual cue here of how much longer they have left on the quiz, so it's easy for them to know. Overall, progress bar is really great. It's something that we definitely recommend adding to pretty much every quiz, especially product finder ones, because it tends to help a lot with completion rate, avoiding those drop-offs from people who don't know if this will take too long or if they're close to the end of the quiz yet. So definitely something we recommend adding, and now it's super easy. Another thing that's important to say is maybe you have a page where you don't want to show the progress bar yet, such as the welcome page on your quiz. This is also easy to do. You just check this box here, and the progress bar will not show on this page. This question will not count, or actually this page will not count for the total number of pages that you have on your quiz. And that's pretty much it. You can also have it on all the pages here, and you can customize the design the way you want. Now, for the other feature that was launched a while ago, but we thought it's really important mentioning because it's something that's very useful. This is actually A/B testing. So this over here, it's super easy to set up, and it's really useful because you can literally test anything. I've had clients who tested How does their quiz perform with mandatory email versus optional email opt-ins? Or how does it perform with intro page or without that? Or maybe questions with less copy or more detailed copy. You can literally test anything you want. So in this case, for example, here, I created two versions of my quiz. One with skippable email, where the person can actually skip the email step, and another one with mandatory email collection, where they no longer have the skip button. If I wanted to A/B test those two different quiz versions, I would click on New A/B Test here. Then I would just select the quiz that I want. So I'll just add my quiz A and quiz B over here. And by the way, you can actually add up to 4 different quizzes. So if you want to test 4 different versions of your quiz, you can do all of that within a single A/B test. Then for the weight part over here, you can select the weights that you want each version to have, or you can just equalize them. I'll select this. Once that's done, I'll just hit create A/B test. It's going to create this for me. If I click on view, then it's just going to load with all the metrics here, and I can check how the 2 different versions are performing. And in terms of getting this live, it's super simple. All you need to do is click on publish A/B test, then select the embed type that you want, if it's on the page body or if it's a full screen embed, and it's exactly the same way as embedding any live quiz that you have already. It's just you copy the code, place this where you have your current quiz or maybe on a new page, and it's done. The tool will automatically send users to the right versions of the quiz, and you can check all the metrics and the performance over here from the A/B testing page. And that's pretty much it, I think, for A/B testing.
Thank you, Leo, for sharing that. And just to recap, Progress Bar is our newest feature that we just launched a few weeks ago, but one of our highly requested features. So we really hope you guys love it and start to use it. And then A/B test has been around for a little bit. We just never did a live demo on it, but it's something that us as account managers use and recommend to all of our customers and all of our clients to take advantage of, because the smallest change can have the biggest impact on your quiz placements and things like that. Leo showed you the example of the email opt-in. It also is very dependable on what you're using your quiz for. There's definitely different use cases. Some people will use the quizzes to push products and to increase AOV and things like that. And others will use them as increasing their list subscriptions, and they care more about email opt-ins than they do selling the product or something like that. Maybe it's a more educational quiz. So it's really great to be able to have the opportunity to test these things, like making us email mandatory versus having it skipped, or changing the copy up on your email page, offering an incentive versus not offering an incentive, having a quiz that has 5 questions versus one that has 7, like seeing which one performs better and has a higher conversion rate, things like that. There's so many different things you can test, and Leo said it's as simple as just changing the embed code. And then once you're done running your tests, we always recommend for at least a few weeks just to gather enough data. But once you're done running your test, you simply click end test, and the one that you choose to be the winner is the one that's automatically embedded back onto your store, so you don't have to change the embed codes. But yeah, that is just a little summary recap. Doesn't look like anyone has any questions. So yeah, I guess we will end the webinar here. A quick and easy one. Multiple questions per page, progress bar, and A/B test. 3 of our highly requested features and ones that we hope you guys use and love. Please send us feedback if you have any questions. You can always email me at beth@octane.ai or beth@octaneai.com. Both of them work. You can use our chat on our website to chat in and ask questions if you have any. And yeah, that's it from us. Do you have anything else you want to add, Leo?
Oh, that's it.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. We hope this was beneficial and useful for you. Like I said, if you have any questions, let us know. And if not, we'll talk to you and see you on the next live demo webinar. Thanks so much. Bye.